I came to UCLA at the beginning of 1999, so I've been here 12 years. When I was growing up, it was a very important part of my life that my grandfather was from Ukraine, and both my grandmother and grandfather, the parents of my mother, my maternal grandparents, were German speakers. So I just had a lot of exposure to the idea of especially Germany and Russia and Europe in general, so I sort of felt naturally interested in European history. History, to me, was the same thing in a way as politics. It was history, politics, social change, political change, trying to understand the world that you lived in, but using the past to understand that world. When we think in the most simple terms about ourselves, how do we understand ourselves? We understand ourselves by telling a story of how we got to where we are now. We all have our stories, and we're all constantly rethinking our stories, and that's what our personal identity is. We think about our parents, we think about our grandparents, we think about our siblings, we think about the communities that we come from. So we always, in fact, think historically. So history comes in, I think, at all levels of our existence. We don't think of it as history necessarily, but the great thing about a history department is that it offers all these different kinds of tools for thinking about ourselves, our families, our communities, our nation, our world. What's really special about UCLA, and I talk about this all the time, for example, when I'm traveling in Europe giving lectures, is the student body. We have the most incredibly interesting, varied undergraduate students and also graduate students. You almost can't believe it. You can't believe that in a place like the United States, in California, in Los Angeles, you can see in front of you the most amazing variety of young people. They come from such a diversity of backgrounds, and yet they are so interested in the kinds of things that we have to offer in the history department. I mean, it's just, it actually brings tears to my eyes when I describe this to my colleagues in other countries, because I think we have an unusual student population for such a big, rich country that has so much power in the world. I think people would be astonished when they would see who the 18-year-olds are who come to a public research university like UCLA that offers this incredible variety of things for them to study and an incredible number of opportunities for them to follow in their future lives. The university is having to remake itself. It's having to remake itself with the help of its friends to find funding streams, sources of income that come from other places than the ones we've been habituated to in the past. This is all part of sort of the way knowledge will be in the future, which is exciting, and at the same time, however, it means we have needs that we need to think about those needs, and we need to think of new ways of funding those needs so that we'll be able to continue to do the kinds of things that we already do and the new things we're going to be learning to do in the years to come.